All right, so this is the Tulare Joint Union High School District course selection for ninth grade for your freshman year. If you look at the first column, you're going to see the required classes. So I want to go over the required classes first for each of you. There will be 5 required classes for freshmen. The first required class is going to be English. So if you look at this first column, most of you will be taking English 1A. Included in the registration form that we've sent you, there's a link if you are going to apply for Honors English. You must complete that form out and send that back to our English department if you wish to be considered for Honors English. There's also an intervention English class, as you'll notice, if you need support for if you're a second language learner. And then during registration, we will go through that process with you and helping you pick those English classes. So you will have English. The second class you're going to have is math. Most of you will be taking Algebra 1. You may ask yourself, well, how do I get into Algebra 1 honors? Good question. That will be done by your 8th grade math teacher's recommendation. So if you want to be considered for honors algebra, your math teacher must recommend you for that class, and we will place you in that. If you are placed in Honors Algebra 1, you will also be placed into Biology Honors. Those go hand in hand. So the third class you're actually going to have is Biology. So Biology for all freshmen, Biology Honors if you're in the Honors Algebra. And then if you're just choosing to take the agricultural biology, there's that option as well with the honors along with that. All right. And that class will be offered at the school farm. And then the fourth class that you'll all be required to take is PE. However, if you are an athlete, you must take that sport to be able to try out. And we will walk you through the process when you go through registration through Zoom on how do you pick out the sports. You start with the fall sport first if you're going to play more than one sport. Okay. So if you're going to play football, which is in the fall, and you're going to play basketball, the registration staff will be signing you up for football. It'll be the first sport, but you must be in that class to be able to try out for that sport. Along with that, that will count for your PE credits for high school. So there's PE1 if you're not playing a sport. PEA is also another option for athletes. A lot of football players take it. It's a weightlifting course to strengthen yourself for college, for if you're wanting to continue to play sports. All right, so we've got our English, we've got our math, which is most of you is going to be algebra. We've got our biology. We've got our PE. And then we're going to have freshman studies. And that's a general course that's going to offer you your driver's education, sex education, and health classes. And there'll be a couple other things, possibly geography put in. That will be a requirement next year. So again, that's going to give you 5 courses that all of you will take. So it's going to be English, math, science, PE, and then freshman studies. Along with that, you will be able to take an elective, and then you will most likely have your 2 homework labs. All right. And as you can see on this form, that's basically the first 2 classes, columns, the columns that you will be choosing from. If you look in the second column, you're going to notice that's your electives. There's business classes, there's consumer sciences, there's industrial arts, there's visual and performing arts. That's your art classes. There's world languages, there's miscellaneous electives, and there's resource classes. The first thing that the registration staff is probably going to ask you is, are you thinking about going to college? If you're going to college, you have to take courses that are called A to G. You don't have to remember that now. Your counselors will go over with you later. But you need A to G classes to get into a 4-year university. So you're going to need at least 2 years of a foreign language. You're going to need a year of a fine art, things like that. So, but again, you don't have to remember that. When you do the Zoom registration, we will walk you through that. And then those are all your options as far as the electives go. And that's the very first 2 columns, as you notice. All right, so we got our required classes, middle column are the electives. And then most of you, as you'll see at the bottom of the electives, will probably pick 2 homework labs. So the third column, you may be asking yourself, why is there a third column? If you look at the top, it's called credit plus classes. That is how you get the option of choosing 7 or 8 classes if you want to have that many courses. The reason we chose that was a lot of students had to take requirements for college, the A to G, as I mentioned earlier, all the required classes for graduation, And then if they got into specialized classes like classes at the farm or Avid, things like that, there was never enough room in their schedule to take some fun classes like wood shop, auto shop, some other things that are offered. So therefore, we've created Credit Plus classes. If you choose one class out of the Credit Plus classes um, column, you're allowed to have 7 classes. If you choose 2 classes out of that side, you will be allowed to have 8 classes. And as you'll notice in the bottom of the page, those are where the sports come in. So if you take sports, you're allowed to take 7 classes, or also Avid, as you see there under the miscellaneous electives, you'll be allowed to take 8 classes. So hopefully that makes sense. Most of you, again, will take the 5 required classes. You may take 1 elective in the middle, and then probably 2 homework lab classes down below. That will be your 8 classes. Some of you that are going to take the Credit Plus classes, 1 over here in this column, the far right column, or 2 classes will give you the option of taking 7 or 8 classes. The other thing I want you to take notice of is some of these classes, as I'm pointing to, like digital design, it says TU and TW. Those classes for digital design are only offered at Tulare Union and Tulare Western. So if you happen in that class to be going to Mission Oak, you would not be allowed to choose that class. Mission Oak, however, has Intro to Dance, but it does not offer that class for Tulare Union Western. So as you choose your classes, you may want to take a look and see to make sure it's offered at the campus that you will be attending of the 3 comprehensive sites. Also, that will be attached with this video and along with others is applications for Avid, should you be interested in Avid. If you show an animal at the fair, you must be enrolled in an agricultural class every year. So there will be that requirement as well. And then there will also be a Spanish assessment. If you do speak some Spanish skills, you can click on that attachment that's set up by all 3 schools by the Spanish department, the foreign languages, and they will have you complete some things to make sure you are properly placed in the proper Spanish class. So what I've covered today is the pre-registration. Very important that your parents complete that pre-registration. And then remember, during the Zoom session for the high school that you attend, you must have proof of residence. So your parents will be required to show a bill of that to prove you there. Then again, you'll be moved into a waiting room where once the counselor's available, our secretaries will move you into that room to meet with the counselor to go over your classes. Again, they're going to ask you if you're thinking about going to college, because those classes are important your very first year, to choose the correct classes and coursework to be AG required for to attend a university. Also, I want to point out you have to have C's or better for those classes that count. So grades are extremely important. Then after you take your 5 required classes, again, English, math, biology, PE, and freshman studies, you'll have 1 elective along with 2 homework labs. And finally, you have the final column that if you're going to take 7 or 8 classes and not have the homework labs, you can choose one of those classes and or 2 of them, and that will give you 7 or 8 classes. Also remember, if you're going to play a sport, you must choose the sport, and that will count for your PE requirement. I just want to say, if you didn't hear anything we covered in this registration process, please remember this. Please, again, this is the 3rd time, have your parents complete the pre-registration form. You will not be allowed to pick classes if you do not have your parents complete that first and then show proof of the bill. All right. If you have questions, there's going to be contacts for the counseling offices also associated with this that you can contact, ask specific questions that may require additional information for registration. We're looking forward to all of you coming to Tulare, the high school district. We have lots of options for you. It's going to be a great experience. And again, contact us if you have any issues. If you don't attend the registration night that is set up for you and your school, there will be a makeup night at all 3 campuses, and it's usually going to be offered all day long to sign up with your classes. So please make sure you don't miss registration to get an opportunity to pick the classes that you want. It'll be a great experience. It's been a crazy year trying to do this from distance, but hopefully this video will be helpful. And again, contact us if you have any questions. Good luck finishing 8th grade, and we look forward to meeting you this spring for registration. Thanks.